So, Bannock13 has just came back from watching the brand new Black Panther movie. Does it live up to the hype, is the question you're all asking? Hell yeah. This is a fantastic film. For those of you that may not be aware or aren't sure what this movie is about, it's about T'Challa, who returns home to the African nation of Wakanda after the death of his father to become the brand new Black Panther and king of the country. And Wakanda isn't your typical African nation. They are technologically advanced far beyond any other human beings on Earth expectations, and that is because the country is absolutely filthy rich with vibranium, which is a resource which allows them to come up with all these technological advancements, including the amazing Panther suit. And the first question that you might have on your lips is, well, if Wakanda is so damn rich and so technologically advanced and superior to any other country on Earth, why are so many African countries suffering? Realistically, you would think that, but in a way you might think, oh, it's a movie and, we'll forget about that. But, realistic questions still burn in the back of my mind, and I'm sure that they do with yourselves as well. And to my delightful surprise, they actually address this question in the movie. Usually as the viewer, we just write things like that off and think, oh yeah, it's just a movie. But at least they actually address this question and explain to us why they haven't gotten involved with the poverty, the hunger, with some of their other sister nations. And not all is peaceful and wonderful in Wakanda for the new King Black Panther, as there's a villain, and this villain is the standout of the movie for me. He does a phenomenal job, and he also has really good reason for doing what he's doing. His goals aren't motivated by taking over the world or destroying everybody and killing everything. There's actually a lot of emotional backing behind what he does, and a lot of what he says actually makes sense. And you can't help but feel that the movie, at one stage, when we get to know the villain a little bit better, who's played by Michael B. Jordan, superbly, flawlessly by the way, once you get to know the character and we get a bit deeper into the film, it's only about a scene or two away from actually making the villain into the good guy, because he has so many good reasons to be doing what he's doing and actually has a right to do what he's doing as well. And I'm not going to get too much into it because it'll ruin it for you, but all I will say is the villain is just amazing and almost came this close to completely stealing the show. In fact, if they showed him a little bit more and had a bit more backstory or just had more of him in the movie, he would have stolen the show, and he probably would have taken away from so many other aspects of the film. I think it's good that they didn't actually include him in any more than they did. It was perfect. He was in it for the perfect amount in order to not steal the show, because he nearly did. In fact, for me, he did. I was pretty much cheering for the villain in this movie, and for you to actually feel emotion for the bad guy and actually, start off hating him and then actually feel sorry for him once you get to know the backstory behind his motives, that is when a movie succeeds in my eyes. Visually, the eye candy is incredible. The visuals are just top notch in this film. However, I did find in the theater a lot of the action scenes were actually taking place at night time, and they were very dark. It was very hard to see what was going on. Plus, that Black Panther suit is so goddamn black and black CGI. In nighttime, it was very, very difficult for me to see. I'll have to watch the Blu-ray to actually judge that again. It could be because I walked into the theater a little bit late and I came out of daylight and it was just like straight into darkness. I don't know, but a lot of the action sequences just seemed super dark to me. But I don't know if that's just me or not. I do recall some other reviewers mentioning it, and I totally understand where they're coming from, because that's the first thing that I was thinking in some of the scenes at the start, and also some of the scenes halfway through as well, that are taking place during night time, and I just thought they were so super dark, even though there are bits in the film that are amazingly lit up and shot in brightness, and color is just amazing, it's flowing. However, there were a lot of night scenes that was a little bit super dark. I thought maybe I'm just being silly, I don't know. It definitely doesn't lose any points for that at all. It's just something I thought that'll be worth mentioning. If you felt the same way, let me know. I'm sure when I buy the Blu-ray and watch it at home, it'll be a different story. Now, I've always been all for practical effects over CGI effects. CGI when it's necessary, and that's what the film was doing. The final battle at the end, I think, went a bit overboard with the rhinos that were used. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to ruin anything for anybody. No spoilers spoilers here at all, but there were CGI rhinos in the film, which I think looked a little bit too fake. I don't think it was necessary. They could have either thought of something else or just not included that rhino bit at all. Also, the Panther suits. I think they're a little bit too CGI-ish, and definitely some of the fight scenes were probably a little bit overboard with CGI. I don't think they needed CGI. I think they could have just done it practically, but that's just me really preferring practical effects over CGI unless CGI is absolutely 100% hands down necessary. But having said that, those are just minor little nitpicks with the film. Definitely not going to lose a lot of points with that sort of stuff. The ending I was a little bit disappointed with, but I think that's just because you grow a certain connection with characters and you want it to go one way. It doesn't. It just depends on you, because with me, I was definitely a little bit disappointed. I knew what was going to happen. It was predictable, but I was kind of hoping they'd go in a different direction, which they didn't. And I'm not going to exactly say what that is right now. I'm going to give you a final score for Black Panther and tell you that you must watch this film, especially if you're a fan of Marvel and superhero movies. Black Panther gets a 12 out of 13. It was near perfect, a little bit too much CGI, and some of the nighttime scenes were a little bit too dark for me to actually see what's going on properly. But having said that, I'm going to definitely wait for the Blu-ray to come out, and hopefully that does the night scenes a lot more justice. The villain is definitely awesome. Michael B. Jordan is absolutely killing it at the moment. As far as I'm concerned, he stole the show. If you're new to my channel and you stumbled across this video, don't forget to subscribe, become a 13-y, and watch your dear old creepy Uncle Bannick 13 all the damn time.